You are on the platform. We're going to be getting David Farrar, pollster, up soon. Look, Philip, I had just read out, spent time sharing with you, the explanation from Auckland University, which made perfect sense. Philip rings up and says, oh, you should check out. Well, I have checked it out, Philip, and that's maybe why I was a little short with you, because you didn't have nothing. The response that I read from Auckland University was a response to the very information that you said was your smoking gun, and you didn't have anything else, mate. So I'm sorry, if you expect an easy run here, you are not going to get it. Let's deal in facts. When we don't have them, let's look for them. Let's try and figure out what they mean. And one part of facts, I guess, is gathering and polling people as to their attitudes. And one group that has been doing that in Wellington, the most gay-friendly tourist destination, one of the most gay-friendly tourist destinations in the world, according to Lonely Planet. It might be gay-friendly. It's pretty bloody ratepayer unfriendly. Wellington's falling to bloody bits. We have a government observer in to keep an eye on our dysfunctional council, which is headed by a self-diagnosed autistic alcoholic called Tory Whanau, who lied to get elected as an independent, but now says she's a Green candidate. And a completely dysfunctional council that can't fix a road, is obsessed with getting rid of car parking, and is making this town a nightmare. A number of groups have formed in response to that to try and because the real problem in Wellington is divided councils and basically grifting, time-serving idiots sitting on the council and no clear majority or direction. It's got very little to do with the mayor. So two notable groups have formed. One of them is called Vision Wellington. We talked to Peter Biggs last week, which appears to be a group of elitists who may have been part of the problem in the first place. And another group called Better Wellington, which seems a little more grassroots. Our friend Boise from the backbench is involved in that. And Better Wellington have commissioned some attitudinal research through Curia Market Research, a polling company with a long and proud record of getting it right in New Zealand. And what does that research say? Well, to find out, we are joined now from Curia Market Research by David Farrar. David, good to talk to you, mate. How are you?
Very good. Good morning.
All right. Who did you survey? How many people? Margin of error. Let's just get the ground rules first.
Yeah, it's 1,000 Wellingtonians, so that gives you a 3.1% margin of error. And we weighted it so it reflects the city in terms of gender, by age, and by where people live ward. And age is very important because Wellington's a very young city. 49% of Wellingtonians are aged between 18 and 40. So these results reflect Wellington adults.
All right. Give me the headlines. What were the main findings or attitudes that people were reflecting back at you through the survey?
Yeah, well, look, the first three questions, and they sound similar, but they're a bit different, was, do you think Wellington's going in the right or wrong direction?
Yep.
Do you think the council's doing a good or a bad job? Do you think the mayor's doing a good or a bad job? And they all came back deeply negative, generally around minus 30%. So that means 30% more people said bad than good. And they aren't always linked. Sometimes you can think your city or country's going the wrong way, but you don't blame the government. Yeah. But here what we found was very similar proportions saying Wellington's going the wrong way, we don't think the council's doing a good job, and we don't think
the mayor's shite.
The mayor's doing a good job. Now, here's what's interesting. This is a centre-left city. If you look at how they voted at the last election. So some people might think, well, this is just centre-right voters unhappy because it's a centre-left one. But we asked people, who did you vote for at the last election? And people who voted Labour are just as unhappy, around, again, minus 30% with the mayor, with the council, with the city's direction. So it's not a case of these are just people unhappy because the wrong people won. These
Everyone
are
hates
left-wing voters saying, we don't like what's happening.
Okay. Was there any geographical difference, any wards? And I know, for example, the Lambton ward, the inner city wards, have far more young people. That's where the Green power base is. Did you?
Yeah, there are. There definitely are differences by both age and ward, but only in terms of how unhappy they are.
Right.
If you take age, under 40s are unhappy by what we call negative 10%. So it might be 50% bad, 40% good. But so that's still unhappy. Well, over 60s are unhappy by around minus 60%. That's massively unhappy.
Yeah.
And these, the old ones tend to be the house owners, the ones who actually pay
the rates, pay for the
if
frigging
you go around
cycleways.
the ward,
Yeah.
Lambton Ward is less unhappy, again around minus 10, minus 15.
Yeah.
Around other wards around that minus 30 or so. Those who are in the Maori ward tend to be the exception, but it's a very small number, like you're talking 4 or 5% Wellington.
Yeah.
They tend to be mildly positive.
Okay. All right. Let's compare. So these three main questions: are you happy with direction? Happy with the council? Happy with the mayor? Which of those had the strongest negative rating?
I'm going off memory now, but I think it was the direction had the most negative.
Okay. All right. So that just says this is about the issues, not the personalities.
No. Having said that, when you're talking about the difference between minus 26 and minus 31%.
Oh, margin of error, yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Have you got more results from the survey to release? Because people who pay for this, and they like to eke it out of a few days, you might get some headlines.